Hi, I'm recording this as a little advice guide for other dudes with curly hair. This originally started as a Reddit comment, but the Reddit comment was getting a little too large, a little too in-depth, and I figured that I would make it a video. Also, that and Reddit deleted the comment like halfway through as I was making it, so I was just like, fuck it. Um, yeah, let's get right into it. So I'm making this guide for guys with curly hair, maybe frizzy hair. If they think it's frizzy, they don't know it's curly yet. But for the longest time, I didn't really know that my hair could, sit nicely like this. I always just had like the frizzy fro going on. But I changed that with just really just a few shower habits, and that's really all it was. Is that you can get this look literally within a single shower. And so this is like the after. Show you some before pictures of what my hair normally looks like. In these photos, I actually picked it out to be frizzier, so it was sitting nicely before like this specific photo, and I picked it out to be frizzier for this photo. So you can see, it's we can rock a fro when we want to, but uh, yeah. So how do we get from here to here and to there? Well, it's in the shower. It's all in the shower. I actually wanted to make this guide because I actually don't use any product in my hair. I actually don't use shampoo or conditioner all that often either. I only shampoo and condition my hair about once a month now. And I don't use any product or gels or anything. And I get this look very consistently. Here's another before photo of what my hair looks like when I roll out of bed, like on a bad hair day or whatever. And here's what it looks like about, an hour and a half to 2 hours after I shower, where it's fully dried off. You can see that. I have another example from Reddit here, from the black hair subreddit. This is JKZG. Yeah, he's asking for advice on how to get his hair cut, but I feel as though he's a great example of what we're trying to achieve. You can see he start in his camera feed or in his camera roll of what he posts. He starts with this, frizzier looking look, this afro ear look, and he's got his jerry curl going on. It looks good on him. Looks very handsome. Another example right here, from user single jackfruit. Yeah, it looks good. You can see her hairs are all coiled up, curled nicely. Great example of what we are trying to achieve. What we need for this look, very simple. We just need our wide-toothed comb and our detangling brush. This brush, so the comb is just it's just wide-toothed comb. You can find these anywhere. The brush I found to be a little bit more specific. This is I swear by this brush. This is the brush that I use. It is way better than any other brush I've ever used in my life. Like the normal hair brushes that just like rip and pull out your hair, and they hurt like hell. This one, you like run it through your hair and it doesn't get caught or tangled or anything. Really good. I couldn't tell you like the specifics on like the physics of how it works or how it like just doesn't manage to pull on your hair as much, but it is actually so good. I swear by this. Buy this right now. I'll pull up I actually have the link here. Well, I have a screenshot of the link. Here's just white tooth comb. Here's the specific one that I use. I swear by this. Go and buy this right now if you can or are able to. But any detangling brush will work really. I just find that the one that I have currently is very excellent. If you can buy this one, go ahead and buy this. But yeah, any of these will work. Just make sure it says detangling brush on it. Curly hair detangling brush. It'll really help with not getting your hair all stuck and caught. So that was the first point of business is wide tooth comb, detangling brush. First point of business. Second point of business I want to bring up right now is what creates the curls. Moisture creates the curls. It's all about moisture. And I actually have a little Microsoft Paint presentation here for you. Sorry, I'm a little too far into it, but here you go. So we start. So this is our hair like off rip right here. This frizzy hair gentleman right here. You can see is that when we get into the shower, what's happening is that our hair kind of acts like a net and it prevents the water from getting in, right? And so our hair can actually hold a lot more water than you would first so believe. And I have a video right here, or some pics of videos, kind of explaining that. You can see here in this video, I took this after I put my head under the water. Like I have the shower running here in this video, and I had my head under the water for about 2 minutes, and you can see that my hair looks like it's a bit wet. But you've seen and a few more examples that it gets wetter, and here's the next example, you can see kind of the water just sitting on top of the hair and not really permeating. This is after 2 minutes of having my head under the shower, under the water, under the shower head. So in this video, I have an example of what we're going to try and do. And I'm really just trying to show how the difference in how your hair will look when it's like fully wet and when it's not fully wet. temperature. So if we can think of our hair as being able to exist in three states, state one being just a solo curly hair, able to just, they're not connected to each other, they frizz outwards. And then over here, we have our other plane of existence where the curly hairs are actually together and they actually form coils together. And this is what we want. And then you have like our plane of existence here where like they're kind of just tangled haphazardly. They're not running alongside each other happily. They may be connected, but they're connected in like a weird odd shape that isn't uniform, and that's tangled hair. And we want to go from this. Oh, sorry, let me use a different color. I'll use red for this example. But we want to go from this to this to this. So, yep, we want to detangle our hair so that it can form curls because it'll never get to here. It'll never become this curl if the top of one strand is tangled to the bottom strand here, So you have to detangle it, straighten it all. You have to detangle it, straighten it all out, like in the purple example here, like here in this straight. And then once you get it moistened, the water can pull it together with its surface tension and hold it into a curl. I hope that makes sense. Thank you. Okay, before I move on from this example, I just want to bring up how uh, most often than not, like the issue is going from this like afro hair to curled hair, right? So we can go from here to here pretty normally. I don't think that's the issue for anyone really. Is like detangling their hair. It's really in forming the curl, right? Because this right here is when you have the hairs separate from each other but not participating in the curl together, right? All this is just normal afro hair, right? And so the only difference is putting in the moisture to get it locked in together so that it then becomes a curl. So afro hair and curly hair can be one and the same. They're one and the same. It's just whenever the curl gets unlocked, it becomes afro, and whenever the afro gets access to moisture, it'll become a curl. And that's really the only difference, in case anyone was wondering. And so what we do when we straighten out when we're trying to get curls. So if we can imagine that we go from here, we start brushing our hair, and now we're like this guy right here, where our hair is straightened out, and now the water can freely move up and down our hair and also across our hair, and you can see it just gets a lot wetter, and it can get a lot wetter a lot faster once you start brushing your hair. So that's point one, is brush out your hair and get all of the water like into it. Make sure that it's like properly saturated with the water, because it's going to lead into our next point of how the curls form. Is that once you go from this bit to this bit, what's happening is that the surface tension of the water is holding our hair is going to pull our hair together, right? So like all that water that's like running through our hair, we want the flow of the water to be forming those curls, right? And I have an example here as well where I'm trying to show you like how if you can see like how the water, you can see how the water is flowing down the curls of hair and kind of just keeping them locked together. This is precisely what we want. And so if we go back to our diagram, once the water starts holding our hair together, our curly hair starts doing like the curly hair things, right? And we start to form the coils. And so so what we're trying to do is keep these nearest hairs close to each other and keep these curls intact, right? So another point that we're going to try and do is that when we're in the shower, after we straighten our hair and get it all moistened out and like this, we want to be very gentle with the ends of our hair. This is the beginning stages of our styling point, and we want to not be messing with the ends of our hair. We want to not, let me pull this back up. We want to not pull these coils apart, So we're gonna do everything by manipulating the roots, because if we manipulate our hair by the roots, it'll give us better odds of keeping these coils intact. And so now if you go back over here, you can see with the wide tooth comb, after I get my hair completely saturated and completely wet, I'm just taking it by the roots and trying to lift it up off my head, give it a better shape. But being very gentle not to like undo the curls that are forming, Okay, on to drying our hair. How do we dry our hair? Well, first off, starting with how we don't dry our hair, I forgot to record little video for this bit, but I'll try and show you an example. Uh, but don't rub your hair dry. You know how in movies and TV, a guy will like put the towel on his head and like rub his hair down, dry off like that. Do not dry off like that. Do not give yourself the puppy rub. Do not rub yourself. Do not rub your hair. You can rub the rest of your body. Just do not rub your hair. Do not do not try it. Yeah, don't disrupt the curls or anything like that. You want to be patting your hair dry. I pulled up a video of this guy doing it. Yeah, so you want to be pat drying, just like how that guy does in his video. Lightly put the towel up against your head and just pat yourself dry. In addition to that, I do like an initial pat dry. I do that like maybe like once or twice, and then I'll just wear the towel on my head like Mike Tyson. Or you can also do it up like how the women do. I also do this a lot. I do this probably like half the time. Very good. Will get your hair dry very quick. Also, doing it this style, doing it up like this, doing the towel up like this, I found is better for actually preserving the look of your hair. So if you say like my hair comes out looking like this, if I do up the towel like how the women do, it'll like lock it in like a time capsule, and it'll like look exactly like this when I take the towel off. So I noticed that doesn't really happen as often when you just wear the towel like draped over your head like this, as opposed to doing it up. But yeah, that's that. Oh, another point to add in is that at this point, if you want to use product, you would use product. Um, yeah, try and do it within like the first like 5 to 10 minutes that you jump out of the shower. You want to do it while your hair is still wet, in my opinion. I don't like to dry my hair and then put in product. That just like defeats the purpose. So, going into our concluding sequence, I just have a few bullet points that I want to drive home. Start to top from top to bottom. Detangling brush. Get yourself a detangling brush. I swear by it. They work. They're excellent for people with curly hair. Wide tooth comb is good as well. Wide tooth comb is better for traveling. I don't like to bring my brush, everywhere, different hotels where I'm staying, different houses or whatever. Wide tooth comb is better for traveling. But if you can, get the brush. Get a detangling brush. On to point 2. Moisture forms your curls. Cannot drive this home enough. Moisture forms the curls. Your curls form because of the water that holds it together. I cannot stress to you enough that moisture forms your curls. You need water to have curly hair, to have the curly coily hair. Into point 3 that I had mentioned earlier. Tangled hairs do not form the curls. If you have like one part of your hair, if you have equal length hairs, and one hair is like connected to the bottom of the one hair while this other hair is going free, they're never gonna make a nice curl together, So that's one. Tangled hairs do not form curls. You have to brush your hair. You have to curl. You have to brush your hair. You have to comb your hair. Tangled hairs do not form curls. Yeah, you have to detangle your hair. On to point 4, if you disrupt a curl, you need to re-wet or re-shower. Earlier, I think I said you need to like re-shower, but you don't have to do all that. If you have just a spray bottle with water, this is literally just a spray bottle of water that I use, glass spray bottle. On like days where like maybe I like don't like how it came out, or like I styled it poorly, and I need to redo it, just grab the spray bottle, grab some product if you have that. Yeah. So, not saying it's the end of the world if you fuck up your hair and you can't re-wet it, but it's kind of the end of the world if you can't re-wet it. Moisture forms your curls. Point 4, harking back on point 2, moisture forms your curls. I cannot stress the importance of that enough. And then point 5, pat dry. Don't rub dry. Just don't mess up your hair after you get it how you want. Once you start the drying process, you're kind of in with what you got. So, don't mess it up. And that should be that. If you have any more questions, feel free to like comment them, I guess. Whatever.
Bro, what?